The night our home became a battleground. The night air in Meadowview Estates was sharp, carrying the faint scent of freshly cut grass and the distant hum of a neighbor's sprinkler. I stood on my porch, pinned by the glare of a flashlight held by Victor Malone, the HOA's self-styled enforcer. His voice cut through the quiet like a knife. "The rules are crystal clear, Thomas," he said, his tone dripping with authority. My hands clenched at my sides. "My permits are clear too, Victor. The city signed off on every detail of the addition." His smirk was infuriating. "The city doesn't live here. We do." He stepped closer, his cheap security vest creaking, and I felt the air grow heavy. This wasn't about a building permit. This was personal. Behind me, the front door cracked open, and there was Laura, my wife of 17 years, her silhouette framed by the warm glow of our foyer. She didn't speak, but her presence was a quiet anchor. Victor's eyes flicked to her, and his smirk vanished, replaced by something colder. "Some folks only learn the hard way," he said, his hand snapping to his holster. The metallic click was deafening. My heart stopped as he drew a pistol, its barrel glinting under the porch light. He didn't aim at me. He aimed at Laura. Time slowed. My mind, trained to design homes with precision, went blank. Victor's voice was a low growl. "Maybe she can talk sense into you, tell you how we do things in Meadowview." I wanted to lunge, to shield her, but my feet were rooted. Then Laura stepped forward, into the light, her movements fluid, almost otherworldly. She looked at the gun, then at Victor, and smiled. It was a smile that chilled me to the core, not of fear, but of absolute control. "Victor," she said, her voice calm, melodic, "you're holding a Glock 17, two-handed grip, but your elbows are locked. Poor recoil control. A rookie mistake." His jaw slackened. "Right now, you're committing aggravated assault, brandishing a firearm with intent. The police would have a field day." She took a step closer, her eyes locked on his. "You've made a terrible mistake. You have 3 seconds to holster that gun and walk away." 1. Victor's hand trembled. 2. Sweat beaded on his forehead. Before she said 3, he shoved the pistol back into its holster and stumbled off the porch, vanishing into the night like a scolded dog. I collapsed against the doorframe, my legs jelly. Laura shut the door, sealing us in a silence that was anything but comforting. Who was this woman I called my wife? The next morning, over coffee, Laura's explanation unraveled our life. She wasn't just a kinesiology professor. Before her academic career, she was a field analyst for a covert government unit, trained to assess threats and neutralize them. Her expertise in movement wasn't for athletes, it was for combat. "I left that life," she said, her eyes pleading. "I wanted you, Thomas. This life was my sanctuary." But her past had found us. Victor wasn't just an HOA bully. He was Vincent Malone, brother of a criminal kingpin Laura had taken down years ago. Our move to Meadowview, the friendly neighbors, the permit disputes, it was all a trap. He knew who she was. By noon, Laura was in action, her laptop displaying maps and code I couldn't decipher. She made cryptic calls, mentioning compromised assets and passive traces. Then she showed me a file, Vincent Malone, alias Victor, tied to Russian mob muscle. His brother's death in a raid led by Laura had fueled his vendetta. Our home wasn't a sanctuary. It was a battlefield. "We can't trust the police," she said. "Vincent has them fooled. We're on our own." We turned our house into a fortress. I showed Laura its layout: choke points, weak entries. The third stair creaked, a natural alarm. The bathroom window was the soft spot, shielded by an oak. Laura armed herself with kitchen knives and a cast-iron skillet, while I screwed shut windows and barricaded doors. As dusk fell, the power cut out, and a storm rolled in, cloaking Meadowview in darkness. "They're here," Laura whispered. She handed me a hammer. "If they get past me, swing. Aim for the head. Don't think." We waited in the hallway, shadows pooling around us. A crack came from the bathroom window. Laura moved like a ghost, silent on the hardwood. I clutched the hammer, my pulse deafening. A scream, not of pain, but of shock, echoed from the kitchen. Boiling water from a stockpot. A thud followed, then the clang of cast iron. 2 down. A third man charged from the kitchen, crowbar raised. I lifted the hammer, but Laura was faster, a blur of motion. She struck his knee, then his neck. He crumpled. 3 down. We raced upstairs, the third stair groaning. In my office, we barricaded the door. Laura scanned the street. 1 left. Vincent. The front door exploded open. "Laura," Vincent roared. "You took my brother. You think you can hide?" His steps were deliberate, savoring the hunt. The third stair creaked. Laura slipped into the hall, leaving me with a knife. I pressed against the wall as Vincent's taunts grew closer. "Come out, Laura." Then her voice, icy. "Looking for me?" A scuffle erupted. I peeked out, seeing them grapple in the dim light. Vincent slammed Laura against the wall, his fist raised. I screamed his name, distracting him. Laura struck, kneeing his side, tripping him. As he fell, he pulled her down, his hands on her throat. I swung the hammer, shattering his arm. He screamed, releasing her. Laura rose, her face etched with sorrow, not triumph. It was over. Sirens never came. Instead, black SUVs arrived, disgorging a tactical team led by Commander Sarah Holt, Laura's old handler. They swept the house, zip-tying Vincent and removing bodies with clinical precision. Sarah offered us the Elysium Protocol, new identities, a new life. We'd vanish our names, careers, everything. I looked at Laura, her eyes unreadable. We said no. 6 months later, our home is rebuilt. I sanded the new hallway floor myself, each stroke a reclaiming of our space. Laura consults for Sarah, helping others avoid our fate. Our new studio, once the spark of this nightmare, is now a symbol of resilience. Meadowview looks the same, kids on bikes, neighbors waving, but we see its shadows. We chose to stay, to fight for our life, not a ghost existence. Our foundation, tested by fire, is stronger now, built on truth and trust. What would you have done? Share your thoughts below. Was our choice to stay brave or reckless? How do you face violence and injustice in your own life? Let's hear your stand.